What is up, YouTube? So today I have a video for you on how to craft boots. Now, if you saw in my stream yesterday where I was going 0 to mirror crafting, I sold a fuck ton of boots. I was just mass producing them, 5 div, 6 div, 1 div, 6 div, 6 div. Like, you can just print out boots, and also like just if you want to self-craft one for yourself, while also turning a profit while doing it, this is the way. I don't like plugging myself too much because I know it's kind of annoying, but I just yesterday started a 0 to mirror series. So if you're curious on how I find crafts and like what my thought process is going through them, you should definitely check me out. For the next couple of days, I will be doing this. I think we already went from 1x to over 100 div, so not many more days left in the series. I will stream it both live on YouTube and Twitch. But back to the craft, it's really simple. What you do is you buy white base boots for cheap. I was buying these. These are eye level 82. Tier 1 base. Daggerfoot shoes is the best EV energy shield base. And these are what all the FUB gooners are going to want. And there's a pretty big market for them, as you can see. Or because of that. All we're going to do is trans-aug them, okay? If you hit something like high res, that's really good because that means when you aug it, you can get 35 MS. And we already hit 35 MS on one of these. I believe it's a 1 in 7, maybe a little bit more. 1 in 7 or 1 in 6 to hit tier 1 movement speed. And then the last one, okay, cool. If you hit a shitter prefix, we actually didn't hit any prefixes here. That's crazy. But in general, if you hit a bad prefix, you don't need to use the perfect augs because these are kind of expensive. They're like 3x each. But if you hit a suffix, you always want to use a perfect aug to fish for the movement speed. No movement speed like that. Very nice. And then if you hit movement speed, obviously you're going to want to use the perfect aug. No MS, no MS. Wow, we got quite lucky here. I think it's a 1 in 6 and we hit 3 of them. But that is going to happen. We'll move these over to the side and I'll show you what to do with them in just a moment. Okay, so for these other ones, you're gonna miss, and this is gonna happen a lot of the time. All you're gonna do is Regal. Now, all we need to do is exalt them until they're all 6 modded. Now, there is a world, like, see, we almost hit tier 1 movement speed here. If you hit tier 1 movement speed, you're pretty much just done. You can sell it no matter what the stats are for a good amount of price, like probably like half a div or like a third of a div, something like that. But we didn't hit tier 1 movement speed on any of these, so we won't have to worry about that. But just keep that in mind. You can luck or dog tier 1 movement speed here, and that is going to happen, you know, a certain amount of the time. I'm not sure if you saw that. We bought these Omen of Putrifications for like 6 exalts each, and we're buying these ribs for like 7 exalts each. So it's really quite cheap to do. And all we're gonna do is collect these ribs, collect these Omen of Putrifications. So all we need to do here is make sure that we socket these boots, and only armor scrap / quality the shitter ones that we didn't hit on. So all the boots are socketed in quality. This is very important. I fucked this up a lot of time and lost probably like 10 div doing that, but you will learn from my mistakes and be better because of that. So you guys will not be making that mistake. All of them are socketed 20% quality. Now what we do is we activate the Omen of Putrification and then we rib each one of them. The Omen of Putrification makes so all of those mods are converted into desecrated mods, and we are now in a phenomenal spot where we are just going to be opening these at the well and hoping for 35% MS boots. So you might be thinking, what actually are the odds of hitting movement speed tier 1 on any one of these desecrated rolls? And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot higher than you would probably suspect intuitively. The way it works is the reason why desecrations are so OP is because you have 3 rolls, but each of these 3 rolls benefit the roll that you want. So if you miss the movement speed on the first roll, this weighting is then removed on the second roll because you can't hit life twice on the desecration, right? And if you hit mana, life and mana are then removed from the pool for the third roll. So the way it looks like is you have a 141 to hit movement speed on your first roll, and then say you hit life, then you have a 132 to hit movement speed on the second part of the desecration, like the second mod out of the 3 that you are going to be given. And then say you hit mana, you are then gonna have a 1 in 23 chance of hitting movement speed on the third mod of the desecration. And then it works even better because say like we hit percentage EV for our mod on the first line of our 3 like affixes that we can get. Then on the second desecration, we have a 1 in 34 to hit movement speed. And then afterwards we have a 1 in X to hit movement speed each time the mod gets removed. My back of the envelope math kind of shows that this is roughly like a 30% chance to hit, which is like almost a 1 in 3, right? And in my experience, and also as you're going to see in this video, like a 1 in 4 to 1 in 3 roughly to hit movement speed, which at least for me personally, it was a lot higher than I thought, but I figured I'd just share that with you guys. If you think about it, the boot base costs 5 chaos, right? That's how much we were paying, 5 chaos or like 25x. we have a chance at hitting 35% movement speed on the boots. If we do, we're already in the money. These 3 boots, even if you only hit one of them, are going to pay for all the bases. 10 bases times 25x, that's like hardly over a div. If you include in all the crafting materials like the Omen of Putrifications, the trans and perfect augs, that's going to be like 1.5 div for 10 boots, right? Any one of these 35% MS boots here pretty much already is going to pay the cost of all the boots. This stuff, Putrification that we're doing, are all like the bonus round stuff. This stuff is already like just free money. If we hit, awesome. We're like even more in the profit. If we miss, no big deal. We're still in the profit. So this is like almost 100% guaranteed profit on this craft. So here, what we're going to be looking for is, you might think, oh shit, 30 MS, like that's good enough. Unless it's 35 MS, you never take MS, because if you take 30 MS, you will block yourself on the subsequent 2 rolls of getting 35% MS. And you're going to want to prioritize 2 things before MS, okay? Your percentage or flat evasion and energy shield, or the second thing is life, high life rolls. And that's specifically for these boots. That's because these are hybrid EV ES boots. You want life with these. If you are going like pure ES boots, you probably don't want to prioritize life at all. You just have to kind of be cognizant of what you personally want on your boots. See, high life is very exceptional here. And then boom, we hit 35% MS. These boots are already going to be fucking sicko. You usually don't echo here, but there is a world where you can probably echo here. But you have 3 rolls. It's pretty nice. Like, you're very, very likely to hit something decent here. And these boots are very, very nice. And we just keep going. Same thing, percentage EV here. MS is very nice, but like, come on, we want 35% MS, so we're gonna take this. And then unfortunately we didn't hit. And these boots are pretty much guaranteed to be bricked now. That's just the way it is. Like, again, I said, like, this one boot will pay for all of them. These boots, like, we're already gigging the profit. I'll show you in a second here. We're already super, super, super in the profit. So you are gonna miss some of the time. Like, you just have to accept that. If you think that you're gonna hit every single one, oh my God, you might be on the streamer client like I am. And wow, so we have tier 1 flat, tier 3 percentage. These boots are fucking nuts, okay? Again, we could opt into an echo here, but I don't know. You don't really need it in my experience. These are good enough. Okay, low hybrid percentage EV, that's fine. Low flat, that's also okay. And we missed the movement speed, that's okay. One thing to consider is on the 3rd roll, you will take 30% MS, because those will give the boots some value. Like, you can still sell decent movement speed boots, or well-rolled 30% movement speed boots for a couple of div, but you really want to prioritize 35% MS. We'll take the flat life here, because the other roll was so low. This one is even lower. And yeah, we missed. Like, again, we're not winning them all. That's totally acceptable. At this point, the suffixes don't really matter at all, just because, you know, these boots are already dead. This is very, very high flat EV rating. We'll take that. Very, very shitter roll life. We'll take that. And then dead. Yeah, it happens. Whatever. Again, we are already so in the profit that we do not care. This is all bonus round shit. And then the last one. Here we go. This is tier 1 flat, I think. This is percentage. And then we missed. Womp womp, right? It's gonna happen. Don't sweat it too much. Like, that's just part of the game. Let's go back to our hideout here. If we lose, like, we lost this one's dead, this one's dead, this one's dead, this one is dead, and this one is dead. So out of 7 boots that we putrefied, we hit 2. That's also why we need to add the quality in sockets here, because if we don't add that now, this gets corrupted and it will be Jover for us. I made that mistake many, many a time. So we just socket some iron runes here. Let's just take a look at what these are. So we have high life, movement speed, resistance. I would say, like, we could sell these for like 2 div, maybe, just because we have some int. Int is a good roll, but it's not going to give you this much value, so we wouldn't include that in the calculations. Probably just 2 div for these boots. And then these ones here are pretty nice. These are like probably 3 or 4 div. I would say probably 4 div, just because we have the int again. This is not a premium stat. This is just like a nice to haver. Res is a premium stat. Movement speed is a premium stat. Life, premium stat. EV, energy shield, premium stats. Rarity, premium stats. Int is like a decent stat. It gives a little bit of value, but it's not going to be giving you, like, it's not something that you should really put into your filter. So very, very solid profit here. If we think about it, right? What was the total cost to craft all this stuff? I would say the Putrifications, the ribs, and the armor straps all together cost us 2 div. The boot bases here, they cost us a div, 3 div total cost. That is very, very inexpensive, considering that we just made 6 div here on these. And then keep in mind, these are the failures. we still have 3 boots that have really, really insane potential here and can go absolutely sicko. You don't have to do it this way where you buy the white bases and then you putrefy the failures. You can just set up a filter and buy just like any number of mod I level 82 boots. As long as it's not already desecrated, you can just exalt on the last 6 mods and then putrefy those boots yourself. You can get them really cheap for like 5-10x if you put up an active trade. That is also a method to do. Make a killing off of them. I was doing that a lot yesterday as well. But I figured this method was a lot better because you have the chance to hit these insano ones, and then on the shitter bases that you miss on, you can just putrefy them and make a ton of money that way as well. But these ultimately are going to be the real money makers because we are set up here in most cases with 2 really good mods. We already have a good res, tier 1 movement speed, and then rarity here. So we are in a really exceptional spot with these. What we're going to want to do now is we are going to want to buy some enhancements. These guarantee us tier 3 percentage ES, because we can also guarantee tier 3 resistances. But I think, in my personal opinion and experience, the prefixes are a little bit more important than suffixes. We are going to slam prefixes first. So the reason why the blue bases are so good is because like we're in a spot now where we have tier 1, and then tier 3 percentage EV energy shield. So we're just in an exceptionally good spot now. So we're going to use Omen of Citadel Necromancy and then Preserved Ribs. So this is going to guarantee us prefix Desecrations here. Very, very nice. And then we're going to go unveil them, and we're going to activate an echo for each of them. So these are kind of bad rolls. I think life, what's the max roll for life? Yeah, max roll for life is that. So I level 80 life is tier 4 life. I think that's kind of a settle. We want flat percentage EV or evasion, or high roll life are really looking for. 107 life, that is acceptable. It's tier 2. And then we keep it going. Here, low roll life again. Can't really take that. And then, ooh, this is tier 1 life or tier 1 energy shield. That's actually tough. That's very, very tough. Let me go back. Oh no, this is only tier 2. Even with tier 1, it might be better. Let me see. So the flat roll is actually better than the life roll. It's just how it is. That makes sense though, because this synergizes with this. This gets multiplied by all the 74%. But we're going to take the hybrid flats here. And that's very, very exceptional. Then we come here. Yeah, you know what? We can just take their tier 2 life. Okay, so we got pretty lucky here. All these boots were actually decently well rolled. And then unfortunately from this point, there's not really much we can do. We have pretty much guaranteed 4 decent mods. That's all we can really do from this point. We then just have to YOLO exalts there. There's like really nothing else. Really, really good prefixes and 1 really good suffix. I think it's actually worth it to YOLO a perfect exalt. But for this one with like tier 1 decks, like that's not like a premium stat. So I think I'm just going to YOLO a greater exalt here. And then if we hit, we can consider going perfect. We did not hit, so we are just going to send 1 more greater exalt. Cold res, that's very, very good. And then for these 2, they're like very, very nice boots. We are going to YOLO perfect exalts on them. And we're going to go with a Omen of Greater Exaltation as well. These perfect exalts are less than a div, probably like 80% of a div. So then with this greater exalt, it only costs us half a div per exalt slam that we're going to use here. An extra 1 div on these boots. I think it could be worth it if you specifically have 4 mod boots. Fuck it, I think it's worth it. So first slam, we hit tier 1 chaos, stun threshold. That's actually not bad. Chaos res is a very, very good roll if you get a high tier of it. And then this last one here. Oh my God, that is a tragedy. We have 30% reduced attribute requirements and freeze reduction, but that's going to happen. That is kind of like where the vision of the game is in terms of crafting for this league. They want us to kind of suffer. No, they want us to kind of have these moments of suffering. They want us to have these moments of RNG on our crafts. All we can really do is maximize our odds and try and get the best scenario possible out of them. So let's take a look at how much these boots are actually going to sell for. So we have movement speed here. These are going to be like 1 div, maybe get 2, but most likely just 1 div. A little unfortunate here. We're not really making a lot of money on this one. And then this one as well is probably not going to do that good. Oops. So this one is going to be probably like 3 div just because we have tier 1 rarity, and rarity is such a premium stat these days. And then this one is going to be not going to be 16 div, but we could probably sell this for like 12 div. Chaos res tier 1 is very, very nice for people who are trying to min-max their builds and get capped chaos res. But chaos res is also something that's like kind of optional. So some people just don't opt to go for it. As a result, it does sell for a premium, At the same time, it takes a long time to sell these kind of boots. So we'll go for like 13 div, something like that. Made a fuck ton of money. Like we profited pretty enormously there. I did that like literally all day yesterday. I made probably like 50 div, maybe even more, just spamming these boots, selling boots for a crazy amount of money. Just to recap, you buy white bases, eye level 82, you perfect trans, perfect og them. If you hit 35% MS, awesome, you craft on them like I just showed you. If not, you 6 mod them, socket them, quality them, and then you putrefy and you fish for 35% MS. Anyways, that's all there really is for it. It's pretty straightforward stuff. That is currently the best way to craft boots in the game that I know of, the most efficient way. It's incredibly profitable. And if it's incredibly profitable, that also means that you can self-craft your boots this way, and it'll be a lot cheaper than buying them. Anyways, that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys again in the next one.